Howdy y'all, this is Cindy with Swafford Homestead. I asked Brett today if there was anything I could help him with. You know, he's at work, and he told me, yeah, if I wanted to, I could plant some seeds for him. Well, I thought, well, what a better way to make a video than to plant some seeds. I've been asking the Lord lately for direction and things, and I'm thinking, whoo, time to try some new stuff. That's what we're trying here in Swafford Homestead this year. We're trying new things. We are striving to do things we've not done before. We're making some changes around the homestead. Added some projects, took some projects away. And today's seeds are another one of those changes. Something he and I's we've never seen grow before. So we're going to give him a shot. Now, first thing I want to tell you about is the dirt I'm fixing to put them in. And it's Pro Mix. It is the compressed pack, 2 pound. It's 1 cubic foot. It's an Eco Choice Pro Mix Premium Organic Garden Mix. Now this is what we put in a lot of our seeds in. Like when he tells me to start a planter, he gives me a bag of this to put it in. So this is what we do a lot of our seed starting in to begin with. So I'm going to put this down here on this little seat where I can get it out of the way. But that's what we use a lot of as far as seed starters to get our seeds going. Now I'm not the person to ask questions. That'll be Brett's part to answer any questions y'all may have on all this. But that is what we have started all the seeds I've helped him plant with this Pro Mix. It's done real good for us. And what we're planting today, high grade seeds from Mountain Valley Seed Company. We ordered these, I think we got them from True Leaf. But these are a Texas heirloom, has light olive green fibers. They're cotton seeds. Cottons of several colors like green, blue, yellow, and pink were used before the Civil War and industrialization, which now favors dyes over natural coloring. That's what it says on the pack. Directions: sow in zones 8 through 11. So we're fixing to start these inside and see what happens. Now Brett has sent me out our 6-pack holders, and I'm fixing to put some of this grow mix down in this 6-pack holder and try not to make a large mess. You know, we've been trying to make some changes around here, and he come across these seeds and he said, you know, I've never tried to grow cotton. I've never even seen it growing. But he said, I think it'd be fun. Then he kind of told me, he said, but you know, that might be a little thinking back, bring back memories. Might bring some bad memories back to his daddy. Because his daddy, when he was a little boy, used to help pick cotton. And he would help, you know, nowadays kids, they go to work to buy them a car, to pay for their cell phones. But not my father-in-law. Nope. My daddy, I don't know what time my daddy went to work. But my husband's daddy, now he went to work when he was a little boy. Because it wasn't to buy him a car. It wasn't to have him something for himself. It was to help pay the bills for the family. Because they grew up poor. And back in those days, that's what they did. They just went to work for the family. They brought their money home, and it went towards all the bills and helped pay all the bills and to buy the groceries that they needed and buy the supplies that the families needed. And there just wasn't, you know, oh, I'm just going to work for myself. No, they worked for the family. And so he would work, he'd pick cotton and whatever other kind of job he could find. I remember, y'all heard us refer to Grandma, Brett's grandmother. And she grew up where they farmed and did a lot of their own growing and stuff. So it's one of the reasons we started all these videos. Right now our kids are so busy. They don't have time to really help us grow the garden. And me and Brett was talking one day how much we wish we'd have paid more attention to Grandma, our grandparents. Because, you know, they were growing up even through most of their adult life. They grew gardens not because it was just a casual thing to do and a fun thing to do or just as a hobby. It was the way they fed their families. And so they knew about every trick in the book how to grow a good garden. And we was sitting there one day talking about how we had wished we had taken the time to video more Grandma's stories. And she's gone now, and we can't ask her. So now we're sitting here trying to remember what she taught us. And it's like, if only we could have. I wished I'd have videoed more of my grandparents. If you've seen our seed planting video where we planted some seeds, we planted some mini bustles. And my granddaddy used to help a family member of Mini Bustle plant their garden. And so the seeds came from my aunt, who I think my uncle actually gave them to her, that they had kept for years because I'd never heard of them. And just stories like that, you know, times, you know, wished I could have sit down and asked my grandparents again. Now just, how did you get that to grow? Like especially Brett's Granny Swafford. I tell you, that woman could bring a dead plant back to life. She just had, they call them green thumbs. I have a black thumb of death. Brett's trying to turn it green. I could kill plants without a problem. But now Granny, you could give her a plant and she'd make it grow. Alright, I think I've about got this 6-pack full here. Let's see. Alright, let's see on here. It does not say how deep to plant the seeds. So, let me think about for a second what Brett told me to do. I'm thinking he told me to put them about as deep as I would a tomato plant. So, we got our dirt in here now. And I'm just going to take my finger and I'm just going to poke me a little hole right down in this dirt. In each one of these little corners here. I'm going to pat me a little dirt. Poke in the dirt. Now let's see what we got here. I'm going to attempt to hold one of these up, but I'm not too sure y'all could see that. But that little sucker's fuzzy, like cotton. And it is neat. Now, it just tickles me right there now. Let's drop. Let's drop. Drop them in here, put a little dirt over them. Now, I'm going to have to let Brett plant at least one or two. Y'all know that, right? Let him have some fun with the planting. Alright, gotta get my other pack out here. Get me some more out. They look little fuzz balls here. Hey, come on now. But it's just something else, you know. You get the, you know, kids. I get tickled listening to them talk. Well, can't you just go to the store and buy it? So, yeah, you can. I don't know where they think that comes from at the store if the farmer don't grow the vegetables. They just think they're just going to appear at the store. Well, no, they don't just appear at the store. Somebody's got to grow it. That's another reason we started this video. And as I was saying, we're trying to remember the things that our grandparents taught us and how to plant and grow and stuff. Now, I don't remember a whole lot. My husband remembers a lot more than I do. But we were talking how much we would love to just I think I might save these for Brett. He needs a couple to plant. Let him make sure I did that all right. But now we're going to have to drizzle us a little water on these. But yeah, that's why we grow a garden. One, I like knowing where my food comes from. And if we grow it, then we know. And I like knowing what went in my food. And we started making these videos. So that maybe one day if our kids go, "Mom, how did Daddy do that?" Well, there'll be a video on the internet for them to go back and look at. Well, y'all, Brett's got home. And he's pointing out, I told you he's going to correct something I had to do because I did not pay attention. This first batch I planted, there's 2 different types of cotton here. This is the Red Beauty cotton. So we had to find what I did, because I put 6 in that and I was only supposed to put 5. But that's okay. And this is Earlene's Green. Now Brett gets to have fun with the Earlene's Green. Alright, we got our mix. I told him I couldn't leave you out, that you got to have some fun too.
I get to plant too, huh?
Yes, you get to plant too. So let's get our little seeds out.
I guess that's green.
Yeah, I think that's the green one. I knew I put him on the end. I just wasn't sure which end. But I didn't pay attention to it, so...
Little fuzzy seeds.
I was telling him about how your daddy used to pick cotton.
He was young.
When he was young. Now you can't really see how the difference of them here because, but this has got just a hint of a green tint to it where the other one was pure white.
You can see it once you get light on it. It's almost a dirty type look.
Yeah.
It's not really a bright green necessarily.
Well, you know, I would have realized
like
that when
moldy green.
I would have realized that it was different when I opened the pack and it didn't look the same. But
I pushed them down about a ½ inch, a little better.
That's about what I did.
Sprinkle a little dirt over the top.
I put me some dirt on. Because when I went to digging that back up, I didn't realize. I was like, yeah, that's about how deep I usually plant things. I was telling him about your daddy. He used to pick cottonseed when he was a boy. Help pay the bills.
You done whatever you had to back in to make money.
Yeah.
Ain't nothing in that one, so.
But
Best I understood, they loaded up in a car. They take a bunch of them over to where the fields was, and they pick cotton for money. They get their bag, and they pay so much a day to make money. I forgot what they called the bag, but.
well, I was telling them that it wasn't like it is today with young folk trying to raise the money to pay car payments and cell phones, and they paid household bills like groceries.
Yeah, they wouldn't. They raised their food. They raised their animals. I mean, they really didn't have much to go to the store. There wasn't no stores.
No.
You had to ride a bicycle or ride a wagon to like a general store, and it wasn't like you see on television.
No. It was miles away.
They're all nice and neat, and this was out in the country place. He lived miles from town.
Well, I guess I better write the names of these on here before we get.
We better make us a.
I read
make
what
us
was
a little
on.
sticker, you know. I know we can lay that on there for a day or two, but once they start growing, we need to make us a.
Well,
Put a
I
piece
could
of tape
just
on there
stick
and-
that right there down into the bucket. Put a stick on it.
We could. Or
Because we do have an empty hole in
we
each
can do the
side.
masking tape thing like we did on the others.
Oh yeah, I could do that
We
too.
put it on the side or the back or somewhere.
I read the back of the pack on that one. It had a little story with
Yeah.
it.
Yeah, this one did, but that one didn't. That's.
Mm-mm.
I read it before I went back to work, but it was interesting.
But
This ain't the same cotton as they picked back then, but it's something like it. One of these is, I don't remember which one is which. We got them from True Leaf Seeds.
mm-hmm.
One of them is easier to actually pick. It opens up and then you don't get bird as bad.
Hmm.
One of them is more of a traditional type, but it'll be fun.
It's
This
like
is just to watch,
Like I said, we're trying new things here, doing a few things different, making some changes. When he come across the cotton seeds, it was just too tempting not to try it.
Well, they still grow them across the river from us. They still grow them in West Tennessee. We just don't go to West Tennessee that much because what little we travel is right here in the middle Tennessee.
Yeah.
We don't ever go that far. It's like they grow tobacco north of us, but we hardly ever go that far north to see the tobacco fields. Very few times.
Yep. Well,
This is for educational purposes.
oh yeah, we're gonna learn. Gonna show our grandson where cotton comes
We're
from.
going to show our children where it comes from. They've never picked cotton.
Yeah, they just think everything comes from a store.
Yeah. I don't know if the grandson will understand it now, but
He
with
will
this
one day.
video, one of these days he'll be able to understand.
Yeah. Well, I guess it's time to put a little water on these, and we'll keep you posted on how the cotton grows.
7 to 14 days, we ought to have something sticking up. So,
Y'all stay tuned.
God bless.